Welcome back to the Remove and Add Everything tracking series. That's right. In this part 3, we will composite our elements over the footage and remove the pile of rocks on the driveway. Nothing to be afraid of. Okay, so here is another little jump. I took the freedom to create a few more details on the geometry here. So the garage door, those flags, nothing to be afraid of really, but also nothing we really have to go into detail here. These are all just really basic models really. But what you will notice is that our plane tracker or ground markings are gone. And that is because they are composited over the rendered images. So we jump over to the compositor and ooh, well, that's quite a tree. Again, nothing to be afraid of. We have all three scenarios in here. This is the rock shop, the Porsche, and the yard sale. And then obviously here also, so this is the background sequence. This is my license, and that feeds into the other scenarios. So let's go to scenario yard sale. So here we have our drive in and out arrows, the 3D elements, the markers around the car, which are special. I'll talk about this in a second. And we have our pile of rocks over here, which we're going to remove in a second. So quick note on the markings around the car. If we look at that image, yep, excellent. So we see that these are actually largely transparent. And that is because of the same reason I told you before. The car goes up in space while the markings stay flat on the ground. Therefore, had I left the car in this texture, it would have distorted as the camera moves through 3D space. So the only information that I wanted to add is the markings on the ground that are around the car. So here we go. This works nicely. There's no overlap with the car, which makes things easy. And it just works. Now let's get to the pile of gravel and remove it together. Stenciled out. I'm just going to do a really rough job here right now for you guys, because we can, right? So we leave this little bucket in there because it's nice and brown. So, and we save that. And all we need to do now is to pile our rocks, and it's gone in the preview in the image view. And if I start to scrub the timeline, it's gone in there as well. That is so powerful. You don't believe, and look how nicely it sticks. So we need an image. We need a plane track plane track the form as well. So we connect these two. We look for nothing here. There it is. There's our image. It is in the scene already because we created it in the tracker. It's one of our plane track images, and therefore it's in a file already. And in the plane in the plane track the form options, we want to make sure that we have the camera selected, we have the correct footage and that we selected the correct plane track. So we see here we have the license plate, the gravel patch, the drive out, and the car markings, right? We want the gravel patch plane track and tell it nothing here as its texture. Beautiful. Now we just duplicate this alpha over and chuck that in there. Give it a second to think, and here we go. That is how you implement your plane trackers in your scene in the compositor. Not too hard, I hope. Nothing to be afraid of. And that is the end of this video. Join me in part 4, where we will color match 3D elements to existing ones in the shot and texture paint more road markings as an alternative approach to plane tracking. Click here and I see you soon.